what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it down for to about 15-20 beats per minute lower, and then I'm going to raise it up. Hopefully I can stay in focus.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah, all the way down into the 50s,
And now
55.
let's send it up. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah, over 100. Mm-hmm.
Did it look like I was doing anything?
Yeah, so tell us what you're doing with your breath.
Looks like magic, right?
Yeah, you weren't doing anything obvious externally with the breath, but you must have been doing something with your breath, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a simple thing to understand. When you breathe in, your heart rate goes up a bit. When you
Mm-hmm.
breathe out, your heart rate goes down a bit, right? So when you breathe in, your sympathetic switches on. When you breathe out, your parasympathetic switches on. So your breath is always um, changing the nervous system slightly, and this creates what we call like coherence or heart rate variability and things like that, which you can actually tune. So, so certain breathing techniques involve extending the exhalation. So if you breathe slowly with an extended exhalation, right, what it does is it turns on the parasympathetic, right? Over time, you'll feel very relaxed and sleepy. That can help you get into like more restful states. Now, if you breathe more with a more intense inhale and just let go on the exhale, so your inhale's more forceful, what will happen is you'll turn on the sympathetic, okay? Your heart rate will probably go up, okay? So some more faster breathing techniques, especially with an intense inhale, right, will turn on the sympathetic nervous system. And that will actually also create another state. So with this pulse oximeter, you can measure the oxygen levels of your bloodstream. If you
Mm-hmm.
hyperventilate, which a holotropic is, for example, doing, you actually lower oxygenation of your body tissue cells, especially your brain. And what you do is you kind of um, break up the connection of the unconscious mind with the conscious mind, right? So we did a study with Cambridge that went and showed this in depth. And it can actually create a psychedelic-like effect. Also, rhythmic breathing from the lungs like this. If it's slow rhythmic breathing, it wakes up oxytocin. If it's quite fast, rapid rhythmic breathing, or just breathe like hyperventilation, okay, any actually rhythmic breathing technique for a long enough period of time will generate DMT from the lungs. We have this own endogenous version of DMT that is often
Mm-hmm.
produced in the lungs, okay, in certain conditions. And DMT, our own version of DMT, plays a role in stabilizing uh, oxygen levels in hypoxia. So when oxygen levels are low. So hyperventilation, like for long periods of time, it creates a state called respiratory alkalosis that lowers oxygenation of your body tissue cells, and you'll feel very lightheaded and dizzy, but it will also wake up this endogenous DMT, and it can invoke like a near-death experience on command. That's kind of like how holotropic works. It takes you back into the moment you were born, actually. It's wild how it works, holotropic. But this is like doing a massive dose of psilocybin or shrooms in one go, right? Which you're not going to do every day, okay? You might do it one-offs. So they're more like ceremonial experiences. They should be treated like doing psychedelics, right? Because the feeling and the effects of it are very similar. Again, we did a study with Cambridge University that showed this in one of our more advanced protocols where we do more faster breathing techniques. But the other thing with the breath is when you hold your breath for long periods of time. So our protocol, our main core method, involves slow rhythmic breathing, right? With extended breath holds on the exhale and on the inhale. And what this does is it lowers the oxygen levels in your blood for a brief period and around 60 to 90 seconds breath hold time and more, and it goes deeper the longer you hold it. You create a state called intermittent hypoxia. And intermittent hypoxia is a positive stress on the body. Your body thinks it's running out of oxygen, so it adapts to a low oxygen environment. So you produce more red blood cells, you get more blood vessels forming around your body, especially in your heart and your brain. You even waken up dormant parts of the brain that doesn't have much blood flow. Blood flow goes like rapidly to all areas of the body because it feels like you're running out of oxygen. So it does what it can to get the oxygen everywhere, right? And it has this strengthening effect on your physiology. And also what wakes up is stem cells out of circulation. And the feeling, so stem cells actually, just going on to that, have the ability to turn into any other cell in the body. So very small embryo-like stem cells get awakened. They come out of the lower oxygen areas in the body and go to areas that need healing, right? And that can lead to lowering inflammation, rapid healing, self-healing experiences. So